Let's talk about the American dream, the classic vision, a house of your own, a loving family, and a sense of security that lets you sleep at night. For generations, this dream was the promise that if you worked hard, you could build a better life for yourself and your children. It was the foundation of hope for millions, a symbol of possibility and progress. But for millions today, that dream feels more like a pop-up ad you can't close, constantly in your face, but always just out of reach. It's become something you're reminded of every day, but can't quite grasp, no matter how hard you try. The cost of a comfortable life keeps rising, but paychecks are stuck in the past. Groceries, gas, and utilities eat up more of your income, while your wages barely budge. Every month it feels like you're running faster just to stay in the same place. Nearly half of Americans can't cover a $500 emergency. That means one unexpected bill can send a family spiraling into debt or force impossible choices between food, rent, and medicine. And we're not talking about luxuries here. It's a broken water heater in the dead of winter, or a trip to urgent care when your child gets sick. These are the basics, the things every family should be able to handle without fear. The safety net our parents and grandparents relied on? It's gone. What used to be a cushion is now a trampoline that bounces you straight into debt. Credit cards and loans fill the gap, but they come with a price, interest, stress, and a future mortgaged for today's survival. This isn't about luxury, it's about affording the basics: housing, healthcare, education. These are the pillars of a stable life. But for many, they're becoming out of reach. The pillars of a stable life are crumbling under runaway costs. Homes are falling apart. New construction sits unfinished, and families are left wondering how they'll make it through another month. So, how did we get here? It's not just one thing. It's a perfect storm of rising costs, stagnant wages, and systems that no longer work for ordinary people. Skyrocketing housing prices, flat wages, a healthcare system that can bankrupt you overnight, and student debt that starts before your first real job. Each piece adds weight, making the dream feel heavier and harder to reach. The American dream is now on layaway, and the price tag keeps growing. It's something you pay for in installments, hoping one day you'll finally own it, but the finish line keeps moving further away. We need to break down how each piece of the system is failing us, how rent, medical bills, tuition, and even our roads and schools are all part of the same story. Because understanding the problem is the first step to fixing it. We need to see the big picture, learn from each other, and start building real solutions together. This isn't just about you or your neighbor, it's a national crisis, affecting every community, every generation, and every future. The dream is slipping away for millions, forcing families to move, kids to grow up too fast, and neighborhoods to lose their sense of hope. So what's really going on? Let's get into it and see what it will take to reclaim the American dream for everyone. For most Americans, housing isn't just a line on the budget. It's the single biggest expense, and it's only getting worse. Every month, families across the country sit down at their kitchen tables, anxiously reviewing bills and wondering how they'll make ends meet. The cost of having a place to live is spiraling out of control, leaving millions feeling trapped and powerless. Rents have exploded in cities and small towns alike, with many people now spending half or even more of their income just to keep a roof overhead. It's not just a squeeze, it's a stranglehold. Thinking about buying a home? Good luck. Home prices have soared to 7 times the average income, making ownership feel like a distant dream for most. Down payments, closing costs, and ever-rising property taxes have turned homeownership into a luxury reserved for the few, not the many. So why is it this bad? We simply haven't built enough affordable homes to keep up with demand. Meanwhile, big investors are snapping up what's left, turning entire neighborhoods into profit machines instead of communities. Regular families are locked out of the market, crammed into tiny spaces, or forced into brutal hours-long commutes just to find something they can afford. Young people are living with their parents longer than ever before, and families are doubling up, sometimes 3 generations under one roof, just to get by. This isn't just inconvenient, it's tearing at the fabric of our communities, forcing people to move away from friends, jobs, and support networks, and crushing the dreams of millions. Housing is increasingly treated as an investment asset, not a basic human right. The focus is on profit, not people. The foundation of the American dream, owning a home or even just having a stable place to live, is literally too expensive to build for most. The result? An entire generation that feels permanently shut out, unable to imagine a future where they can afford a place of their own. The system is broken, and it's hurting everyone. Families, workers, and entire communities. So how does work fit into this mess? Let's take a closer look at how our jobs and our paychecks intersect with the housing crisis. Now, let's talk about paychecks. Costs go up, but wages stuck for decades. Productivity soared, but the gains went to CEOs and shareholders, not workers. The federal minimum wage hasn't budged since 2009. $7.25 an hour is a joke. People work multiple jobs just to scrape by, often with no benefits or security. Even essential workers, teachers, nurses, are underpaid. Unions have been weakened, leaving workers with little power. The result? Even if you do everything right, you're still falling behind. Two incomes aren't enough for many families. It's a treadmill that just keeps speeding up. Healthcare in America is a financial minefield where every step can trigger a crisis. For millions of families, the fear of getting sick isn't just about health, it's about survival. The cost of care can be overwhelming, and the uncertainty is constant. Get sick and you could face bankruptcy, even if you have insurance. Policies that promise protection often come with loopholes, hidden fees, and coverage limits that leave patients exposed when they need help most. Deductibles are sky high, and a simple ER visit can cost thousands of dollars out of pocket. Even a minor accident or sudden illness can lead to bills that take years to pay off. We're the only developed country where this happens. In other nations, healthcare is seen as a basic right, not a privilege reserved for those who can afford it. Here, healthcare is a business, not a right. Hospitals and clinics operate for profit, and every procedure, test, or prescription is a transaction. Pharmaceutical and insurance companies rake in record profits while people ration medicine or skip care altogether. The system rewards profit over people, leaving the most vulnerable at risk. Take Sarah, a teacher with diabetes. Her insulin price tripled in just a few years, so she risks her health to save money. She's not alone. Millions face impossible choices every day. This is common. People gamble with their lives because they can't afford care. Cutting pills, skipping doses, or going without treatment has become a desperate routine for many. Medical debt is now the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America. Families lose their homes, savings, and peace of mind, all because they got sick. Chronic illness traps people in jobs they hate for the insurance. The fear of losing coverage keeps workers stuck, unable to pursue better opportunities or start their own businesses. Minor issues become major because people avoid the doctor, hoping problems will go away on their own. Too often they don't, and the consequences can be life-changing. The system is broken. One illness can wipe out a lifetime of savings, leaving families with nothing to fall back on. It's not just unfair, it's dangerous. When people delay or avoid care, everyone pays the price through higher costs, lost productivity, and preventable suffering. Americans live in fear of getting sick, knowing that a single diagnosis could change everything. The anxiety is constant and it affects every aspect of life. Healthcare should protect us, not bankrupt us. It should be a source of security, not stress. But right now, it's doing the opposite. Until we fix this broken system, millions will continue to suffer, not just from illness, but from the crushing weight of medical debt. College was supposed to be the ticket to a better life. Now it's a debt trap. Tuition has skyrocketed, and student debt tops $1.7 trillion. The average grad owes $30,000, more for advanced degrees. Debt delays everything: buying a home, starting a family, even choosing a career. Some can't finish their degree but still owe the money. It's a new kind of indentured servitude, holding back an entire generation. We sold a dream but delivered a burden. The future is weighed down by student loans. Even basics like food are getting out of reach. Grocery prices have soared: eggs, milk, bread, everything. Inflation, supply chain messes, global conflicts, and corporate greed all play a part. A few big companies control most of our food, raising prices faster than costs. For many, it's not about switching brands. It's about skipping meals or watering down juice. Food banks are now a regular stop for working families. It's not just food: gas, utilities, rent, all up at once. One small emergency can wreck a family's budget. The constant squeeze is hurting people's health and well-being. every dollar is stretched to the limit. The richest country in the world has millions struggling to eat. This is the new normal for too many, and it's only getting worse. This crisis hits everyone, but in different ways. Millennials and Gen Z face debt, low wages, and a housing market out of reach. Gen X and older millennials are squeezed by childcare, college costs, and caring for aging parents. Seniors find retirement funds drained by rising costs. Many can't afford to stop working. Social security isn't enough, and savings disappear fast. People of all backgrounds are affected, but communities of color are hit hardest. The American dream was supposed to be a ladder. Now the rungs are missing. It's a shared struggle from new grads to retirees. The system is failing everyone. When millions can't afford basics, it's not just personal, it's national. People spend all their money on essentials, so small businesses and local economies suffer. Financial stress leads to social instability. People move more, communities weaken. Teachers and firefighters can't afford to live where they work. Civic engagement drops. People are too busy surviving to get involved. The stress is a public health crisis. Anxiety, depression, and chronic illness rise. Hope erodes, cynicism grows, and democracy suffers. People lose faith in the system and each other. The American dream isn't just about money. It's about believing in possibility. When that belief dies, the dream dies too. The social contract starts to unravel. It doesn't have to be this way. These problems are the result of policy choices, and we can make new ones. We need more housing, change zoning, build affordable homes, and stop treating houses as poker chips. Make work pay raise the minimum wage, strengthen unions, and tax the wealthy fairly. Treat healthcare and education as public goods, not luxury products. Public health insurance, lower drug prices, and tuition-free public colleges are all possible. People will say it's too expensive, but doing nothing costs more. These are investments in our future, not expenses. The dream is still there. We just have to fight for it. We built this system. We can rebuild it. It's time to reboot the American dream, with everyone in mind. Let's demand a system that works for all of us.